Navarre might not be Florida's best kept secret, but these 5 neighborhoods just might be Navarre's best kept secret. Let's go check them out. So today I'm going to take you to 5 neighborhoods here in Navarre that you may or may not have heard of before. And today I'm hopefully going to show you some reasons why you might want to add them to your list. Let's get right into it. All right, we are going straight away to our first neighborhood, Biscayne Point and Pine Ranch. Okay, so we are starting it off right away here at Biscayne Point at Pine Ranch. So it's kind of funny. I've heard that's called a couple different things. Most people just call it Biscayne Point, but I've heard it called at Pine Ranch, with Pine Ranch, and Pine Ranch, or just Biscayne Point and Pine Ranch. I'm not sure what the answer is. It's all one HOA, but there we are. Let's start. All right, so there's about 150 homes in this community. There is an HOA, as I mentioned. It's $440 for the year, but this community is a sound side community. It has sound access with a little gazebo, which I'll take you out there to go check it out. But it is, there are some new homes in here still. There's a couple lots still left available. But for the most part, these homes are probably 20 to 30 years old, with a couple, like I said, newer ones scattered throughout. Mostly 1 story, but there are a couple 2 stories. And then it's just one of those neighborhoods that like a lot of people know about, and it's getting harder to get in here. A lot of people aren't selling in here. Right now, there are currently no homes listed for sale. So actually, I'm going to keep taking you guys around. So it just does kind of just, you know, get a little harder to get in here. Typically, home prices start around the mid-4s. They can go all the way up to the $1 million mark because, like I said, the community is on the sound. So some of those waterfront homes can get up there. But for the most part, I would say your good bet for a budget would be like between mid-4s, mid-6s. But let me turn you around. So see, we've got some cute little stucco homes, some brick ones. And like I said, there's still a couple lots here and there. Some of these are for drainage because we are on the south side of 98. So if you're thinking about moving to the panhandle of Florida, hi, I'm Kristen Weller with the Emerald Group, and this is Life in Navarre. All of my information will be popping up here on the screen, and I would love to help you find that perfect neighborhood that's just for you. Okay, so I'm going to take you on a little driving tour for Biscayne. It has one entrance right off of 98, which I just showed you guys. And then there's like one main kind of middle street where there's a couple different streets kind of like popping off around it. So let's get started. So the main entrance is over there. And just kind of for some reference points, the big Walmart in Navarre is just on the other side, and in fact, you can see the Walmart itself from some of these homes here behind me. So it is just right across the street. We are in East Navarre, so we are east of 87, and you're about, I would say, maybe like a 5 to 7 minute drive to the beach. So super close. Hurlburt, you're probably about 20 minutes ish. Obviously, if there's no traffic. All right. So this is Biscayne Boulevard. It is the main kind of thoroughfare, if you will, that runs right through the middle. There's no sidewalks or anything. Your big ticket item for the HOA amenities is that sound access. But the HOA is pretty active. You've got, they hold, I don't know if it's monthly or quarterly meetings, but they hold some pretty regular meetings. So Biscayne Boulevard kind of makes a little turn. So these houses over here on my right, your right, are backed up to the water. So let me see if I can put my window down over here so you can kind of see. So see, you've got some nice, 2-story on pylon houses back up to the water. Those are going to be your over $1 million homes. Got a couple on this side too, because they've got a view, a little bit of a stretch of a view, but they do have one. And like I said, they're still building. But this is the fun spot. This is your access point. And I know I've showed you guys before, but we're gonna show you again. This is one of my favorite neighborhoods simply because of location and because the HOA dues aren't super high, but it also has that sound access, which I wish we had, my husband and I had for our kids, but this one has it, so it is highly desirable. But here you go. It's a great little walking path. And they're really good about keeping this maintained. After Sally, there was a lot of damage and they got it fixed really quickly. I don't know the ins and outs financially of the HOA reserves, but between homeowners just wanting to get it fixed and then the HOA themselves, they got it done really quickly. And you can see the fireworks from the beach from here. I had friends that lived here and you kind of had to stake your spot out really early, but you could do it. So you do have a little beach area here. And they don't have a poop fairy. I think that's hilarious. So your neighbors, if you chose to live here, have a sense of humor. And this is another community that, as I was coming down here, I saw two people walking their dogs. Everybody kind of has they have that sense of community where they are out and about, walking their dogs, playing with their kids, whatever. So there's, a lot of interaction with neighbors, which is always nice because then you also have that sense of security as well. People looking out for your kids or people looking out for your home or whatever. So that's when when an HOA is really active, it's actually sometimes, to me, I feel like that's actually a better thing because people get to know each other, they're coming to the meetings, they're getting to know their neighbors. And there's just more pride in the neighborhood when that kind of thing happens. Okay, we're gonna head to neighborhood number 2. This one, I don't think we've mentioned it or featured it on this channel. Well, I know we haven't on this channel, but I don't think we've even featured it on our Life on the Emerald Coast channel. So this one's a treat for you guys. It is a little hidden gem that unless a house pops up, you're really not even gonna know it's even the little neighborhood's back there, but it's Cottages at East River. So let's head over there. So while we're driving back out of the neighborhood, I did want to mention, because I'm sure if you saw where I was driving, you're probably like, there's no way there's 150 homes here. So let me turn you guys around and kind of show you. So if you turn here on Hansel, there is a whole nother section of the neighborhood. So now we're on Pine Ranch Drive, which is almost another main street. So you can go down that way and there's a couple more streets, and then you can come up here. And there's even more. It goes all the way up. The north end of this street backs up to 98. So as you can see, or as you can imagine, a ton more houses on this side as well. So there are, quite a few homes in here. But like you can see, they're all, relatively the same kind of style. People keep up with their home. Like I said, that pride of ownership is really prevalent here. But just wanted to show you so that you weren't like, there's no way there's 150 homes. Because there are, I promise. Okay, so we are at the Cottages at East River. As you can probably guess, the street that this is off of is East River Drive. There's a car coming. But while the car comes, I'm going to show you this really cute little bus stop for the kiddos. So as I was kind of saying though, the neighborhood is really kind of tucked off because these houses to my right and left aren't even in the cottages. So you have to, one, see the sign, and two, pull in because it's just like a straight drive here into the actual neighborhood. So they're all cute little craftsman style homes. There are 70 homes in here. There's no HOA, so there's no additional, monthly fee. And then the homes are right around like between mid 3s to upper 3s. There's a couple that might go up into the 4s if it's got a pool and a bigger lot, maybe like a corner lot, something like that. But for the most part, right now anyway, you are under $400,000 in this neighborhood. You've got a couple little cul-de-sacs. But this was all one builder. I mean, and it's more of a cookie cutter neighborhood. However, where it breaks it up is all the different colors. You've got burgundy, you've got green, you've got a blue house over here, some grays. Oh, an aqua one. It does dead end. Like I said, I might not have said it, but it's a one in, one out neighborhood. One way in, rather. This is another neighborhood where after school, all the kids, I mean, it's not like riddled with kids, but, kids feel safe riding their bikes and stuff on the street and playing with their friends and everything. But you've got the gamut of different owners. You've got, your empty nesters. You've got ones with little babies, middle-aged, middle school kids. You've got ones that are, single and not married. You've got roommates. You've got younger married couples without kids yet. So it's all over the place. And the homes are pretty spacious inside. Plenty of amenities because they're not very old either. I want to say they're like in the 20 teens, somewhere around there. So another great option for you if you want to be, under that 400,000 mark, but close, or I should say on the east side of Navarre. This neighborhood has multiple ways of coming into it. You can come in off Whispering Pines, and for that matter, you can actually come in off Orion Parker. You just have to do a little bit more squirreling around in the neighborhood. You can come up off Panhandle Trail. So you've got tons of options depending on what time of day you're coming home or going to work. And then East River is a pretty, I won't say busy street, but it's a thoroughfare that's getting built up, and like there's new homes over here to my right now. But you can go over to the eastern side and hit Whispering Pines. You can go west of here, just like the next street over, and hit Panhandle. So you've got a bunch of different ways to get to where you're going. All right, so that is the gate, and that is 98. It's a one-way in, one-way out neighborhood. It kind of forms a big loop with one little connecting street here. This is kind of the connecting street. This is Tampa Boulevard. It goes straight down to the water. Almost all of these houses, I'm pretty sure they all are actually, are either brick or stucco. Here's a stucco one. They're almost all one story except the ones that are closer down by the water. They are custom built homes. So There's a couple that are similar in, their looks on the outside, but for the most part, they're all a little different inside. And they're all pretty much the same age. There's a couple that are newer just because, especially the ones closer to the entrance, those were built on last, but here's a 2-story. But you've got 3 bedrooms, 4 bedrooms. There's a couple 5 bedrooms in here. And then here's your homes on the water. So all of these ones over here back up to the water. And these are going to be your $1 million plus. Cobblestone driveways. So if we turn left here, that'll take you back out to 98. But I do want to show you guys the community center, or at least where it's at, because this is one really awesome feature and one reason why the HOA dues are a little higher priced than most in Navarre. All right, so here is that community center I was telling you guys about. You can either go straight through here or go around here on the sidewalk to get to the dock and the pool. But this is a great feature, which is one reason why the HOA dues are a little bit higher than most in this neighborhood, in this area in Navarre. So HOA dues are $325 for the quarter. There's only about 100 homes in here, so that's a little bit of a reason why it's a little bit higher priced, but also this amenity here is huge. You've got sidewalks, which you saw when we were driving through. It is gated, which is another great, not only security feature, but it makes it seem like it's a nicer neighborhood, because it is. Market-wise in here, there are a couple homes that are currently for sale, and there's usually at least one. It's very rare that you won't have any available here. But they don't turn a whole ton, having said that. Price-wise, you're looking at right now anyway, you're looking at mid-6s all the way up to high 7s. The ones on the water over here are obviously going to be higher than, $1 million plus, that kind of thing, for obvious reasons. You've got, those homes are generally bigger, they're on the water, you've got the views, they also have their own private docks. So, that's why. But you're generally in the mid-6, to low mid-7s, depending on if the house has 3-car garage, if it's a bigger floor plan, if you've got a pool in the back, that kind of thing. But this is Heritage Park, and it's pretty awesome. So this is the community center. It's got a little conference room there, a kitchen, so you can reserve it for parties. A workout area, big workout area. Bathroom. Men's bathroom. It's a pretty nice feature. And then obviously the community pool. So the HOA dues here are $325 a quarter, which are not bad at all for all that you're getting. Goes from 3.5 to 6 feet deep. Got a little grill area over there. It's a good sized pool. So it is very easy to come down here, throw a paddleboard or a kayak in the water. The things I do for you guys, this pier is very narrow. I'm not loving it, but that's okay. And you can see that right here, I mean, it is still early morning-ish. The water's a little shallow. So you're not throwing boats back here or anything. I mean, there's no place to put a boat in the water, but you could easily do, like I said, a kayak or a paddleboard, those kinds of things. And you've just got this nice serene view. Got a couple bench seats here. And if you want to get in that way, you can down the ladder. There you go. So as we're heading to our next neighborhood, let me know down in the comments if there's any neighborhoods that you were thinking about that you want some more information on, or want me to do a little walking tour through or driving tour through, because there's a ton of neighborhoods obviously in Navarre, so I'm gonna keep making these in groups of 5-ish, maybe 7, depending on how big the neighborhoods are. So if there's one that you're like, oh, I really want to see this neighborhood, just let me know and I'd be happy to do it on my next video. Okay, so for our 4th neighborhood, we are at Duncan Ridge. This one is truly a no-frills neighborhood because it doesn't even have a sign. It has a cute little entrance here, but doesn't even have a sign. So if you want to know that you're in the right spot, you just have to look for the sign. So that is 87 right here, and this is High School Boulevard. The high school is literally just right down there. And then here is the entrance to the neighborhood. So Duncan Ridge is about 75 homes. Henry Homes is the builder for all of these cute little homes. You've got mostly single-story homes. There are a couple hold on. Hang on. Get out of the wind. You've got mostly single-story homes, but there are a couple 2-story homes. And as we're driving around, you'll see that it's definitely, you can tell that it's all the same builder. But just like in the cottages, there are similar floor plans from the outside, but the colors kind of make them a little bit different. So they're not, literally the same 2 homes, 2 colors, that kind of thing. So there's a little bit of character to each of them. They were built right around 2013. There is no HOA here, so you don't have to worry about that. And then price-wise, you're right around the mid-3s to mid-3s to lower 4s. So still super affordable. But this neighborhood is highly desirable because you're still technically East Navarre because we're east of 87. And you're really close to not only the high school, but if you just go down one light and over 87, now you've got access to Holly Navarre Middle School, Holly Navarre Intermediate School, and Holly Navarre Primary School. So you're super close to all the different schools, which makes it really easy if you've got a family with multiple kiddos in different schools. The other really awesome thing about this neighborhood is that for my Hurlburt families, you can hop right on here to 87, go down to 98, and then go on over to Hurlburt. But if there's traffic, which there's going to be traffic, you've got multiple options of either coming home from base or going to base. So like I said, you can go down 87 to 98. You can take high school over to Panhandle. You can squirrel your way back even farther over to Whispering Pines and even Orion Parker, which is almost, well, it's the first light coming into Navarre. So you've got tons of options. If you've got kids that, or if you want to do a membership at the YMCA, you can even squirrel your way back through the neighborhood without ever getting onto 87 or 98 to get there as well. So you can even, well, you still have to get on 98 eventually, but you could even squirrel your way through to get to Walmart. So you've got a ton of options. So it's, like I said, it's a great spot. If you do have kids in school and you're still at Hurlburt, but you want to be with all the stuff because you're kind of in the heart of Navarre. You're maybe a 5-minute drive to the beach as well. So that's really nice. And if you want to have quicker access to I-10, it's just up 87. So Duncan Ridge is a really awesome convenience location. And then, like I said, price point, you're under like $450 easily. If you're in the mid fours, it's because you've got a pool, you've got a bigger lot, you've got, a bigger house, that kind of thing. So it's definitely an affordable neighborhood. Let's go check it out. All right, so almost all of these homes are going to be mostly the vinyl siding. It might have some decorative stone or brick, but for the most part, they are all 4 sides of siding. They're little craftsman style homes, 2-car garage. The neighborhood, like I said, there's only 75. Well, I guess there is a 1-car garage. Okay, there's a 1, but most of them are 2. Most of the neighborhood is kind of like what you see here. You're across from either some vegetation or a retention pond, or you're backing up to it. But it's a cute little neighborhood. It just kind of winds its way down. And again, it's another one-way in, one-way out neighborhood. There's no HOA here, so if somebody wanted to, paint their garage pink, they could. This time of year, it's always weird with yards because we've had some rain. It's supposed to rain today, so sometimes our grass will pop up some weeds and things like that. But for the most part, you can kind of see like people are taking care of their stuff. There's no more building going on in here though. So we're at the end of Duncan Ridge. We can take Island over here, but it's another dead end. But you can just kind of see that it's just, only these couple streets and then you're done. There is sidewalks, which is nice. There's a lot of kiddos that will walk to school. So it's nice that they keep the sidewalks here so that, they don't have to be walking in the street. But as you can see, they're all similar styled homes. I'd say there's probably, 5, 6, 7 different floor plans in here. Nothing crazy. You can definitely tell they're all the same builder. Like I said, it was built in 2013, so they're not very old. And there you go. This is Duncan Ridge. All right, we've got one more neighborhood left, and this one is truly a hidden gem. It is a little secret because the street that it's off of isn't even a main street, and the homes that are at the beginning of the street are not included in the HOA or the neighborhood. So this one is a surprise. So let's go on to our 5th neighborhood that is Navarre's best kept secret. So I can show you what it is. Okay, so we are here. This is Paseo de Vivos. It is not, it's the name of the street. It is not the neighborhood I'm taking you in, but East Bay Boulevard is behind me. That's how I got into this neighborhood. And yeah, these are cute houses. Super nice brick homes. Some are 3-car garage. Some are a little bit older, but relatively new. This isn't the neighborhood. Haha. No, I'm taking you to Waterstone. So we're probably, 15, 20 houses deep at this point. And then we don't even get to the sign until now. Haha. I know I'm geeking out on that, but that's okay. So East Bay Boulevard is straight down that way. And like I said, none of these houses up here in the front of us are part of this HOA. There's 2 phases to Waterstone, but they don't start until you hit the sign. So the neighborhood is one straight shot, but it kind of veers off like to, I don't know how to describe it, what shape this is, but it kind of veers off to either side and then it joins back up at the end. So Waterstone is about 90 to 95 homes. They were built by Adams Builder back in, let me cheat and look at my notes. Between 2006 and 2010. So you can kind of tell that they're all meant to be together, but they're not cookie cutter by any means. The HOA is $165 a year. So when you have HOAs that are so cheap, so $165 a year is pretty cheap. Basically what that's doing is they just want to make sure that everyone kind of keeps their home to a certain standard. It does obviously take care of the sign and the maintenance of that. And then I don't believe, if I remember correctly, there's any like community areas. So it's just really the sign part. And it gives them enough money to have a maintenance or, a manager, like a staff basically for the HOA, so that if they do have to issue fines or things like that, they're paying someone to do that. There is a board of directors, obviously, made up by owners in this neighborhood. But when you see something that low, it's basically just to make sure that everyone is keeping up with their property and not painting their house some crazy color or not building something, 5 stories up on their home. Just keeping the aesthetic of the neighborhood, that kind of thing. So your home prices are anywhere from the mid 3s on up to the mid 5s. It does depend, the lots here, when we drive back out of the neighborhood, you'll see that the homes that are on the eastern side, some of them kind of, the backyards kind of like fall or slope down because it's the East Bay River is right there. And even some of the ones on farther down into the end of the street on the west side are kind of doing the same thing a little bit. So it depends on the lot itself. It obviously depends on the size of the property, the upgradedness, if there's a pool and things like that. So it is a big range, but these homes are you've got some 3-bedroom, 2-bath homes, and you've got some 4-bedroom, 3-bath homes. So it does range in size as well, which is why these homes don't all look very cookie cutter, because there's a lot of different floor plans. So the only other thing left about this neighborhood really is just the location. You're off of East Bay Boulevard, and it's so tucked back in here that unless you, we have friends that live here, and we were considering a home that was in this neighborhood when we first moved here. And let me kind of flip you around real quick so I can kind of show you. So when I told you there was a little bit, there's a middle area, normally there's water in here. And again, it's just a retention pond, but you've got the homes over there on that side back up. You can see the woods back there. So some of them don't have a very big backyard. Some of them it slopes off dramatically. And some of them have flat yards, but that's one reason why the price difference is so dramatic, because you can see that some of those houses are pretty large. Then you've got ones on this side that you can see that they slope up a little bit. They'll have decent sized yards on the north side here. Well, I guess this is on the west side. But this was the main street where the signs were, and then just up that way. So we're going to follow it down to the end of the cul-de-sac, because it does, it is just a one way in, one way out neighborhood. So there you go, the 5 neighborhoods that I wanted to introduce you to. Duncan Ridge, Villages at East River, Biscayne Point, Heritage Park, and then Waterstone. So if you like this video, I would love it if you give me a thumbs up, and make sure you hit subscribe and then ring the bell so that you get notified the next time I make another video of why I think Navarre is the best place to live. Talk to you guys soon.